Hello.
Hello.
How are you, Laura?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm well, thank you. Thanks for joining me here today. I just wanted to bring you on here just briefly to chat about the program that you've recently finished, the healing program.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for joining me here today. It's so great to have you on here. And it's been such an amazing journey watching you grow and really experience different shifts. I really love watching your journey.
Thank you. And thanks for your help along the way.
Hey, you're welcome. You're welcome. So I wanted to ask you a few questions about your experience. So initially, when we spoke about the program, do you recall what made you take action and actually join? What was your driving motivation?
I think I was in a time where, due to certain events, it made me self-reflect and realize I need to do a bit of self-growth in realizing what my triggers were from past emotional pains and how I could trigger an emotional reaction in present. And I want to work on having techniques on being more in control of that within the moment of those triggers and understanding why they're there and understanding it in a way where moving forward, having a better understanding will help the triggers be less.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, that's good. Yeah. Great to be proactive about these things as well.
Yeah.
So one of the program outcomes is to neutralize the lopsided perceptions and remove blockages and remove that not only self but external judgments as well. Really balance out those like really strong and intense emotions. So do you feel like this has been achieved, and where do you find the most benefit?
I really enjoyed the techniques that were used. You explained the techniques very clearly, both what they were commonly called, and also breaking down what they were used for, what the intent was, what the outcome was hoped to be, and how to, follow the steps to achieve that. And as I mentioned at the time, there were certain people in my past where I laughed at the idea of being able to do that task with them in mind because I guess the pain was so real. And I was always like, oh, I'll come back to that. Well, most people I can probably do it for. It's probably one or two people in my entire life where I'm probably like, no, like that's too much of a can of worms. But it's a very good task to do though. And that's why it was so challenging to do it with certain people in mind.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
It already opens up a perception from where they're coming from, but also an understanding of mutual behaviors or traits or common interests you may have, which is also a good neutralizer as well to understand the similarities.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. Yeah. I'm glad you're able to find the benefit in that. So I guess, as you've already touched on briefly, I'm sure you found these processes to be quite unique, as well as both the combination of the weekly tasks. How did you find the processes and the tasks?
I really enjoyed it because you, as I previously said, you explained all the different tasks very well within the sessions. And you're open to people asking questions or bringing their own personal stories into it to have a better understanding and sharing that with the group. You're very patient with everyone. And you always gave a very quick understanding of each individual and their perception of the task as well. And having a variety of tasks I really enjoyed. You did things like journaling, meditation, tapping. But then there's all the other tasks like perception, neutralizing and identifying. And they were very interesting and I really enjoyed those. And what I also really got a lot from, I think the most, was the reviews we did once every few weeks.
Great, yeah.
Like going through those reviews and just flipping through them just before. I was like, oh yeah, like, first week, second time, third time I went through the review. It was very interesting. Different school.
Yeah, it is very interesting to do those reviews, and it's so good to be able to keep, at least like a log or a diary, so you can reflect back and be like, oh yeah, like that's how far I've come. And
Yeah,
in that moment where you can literally see where you were like 4 weeks ago, yeah, you can really appreciate what you've been able to do.
yeah, exactly. And as you know, I've given up alcohol, and one of the things was
Woo.
through those reviews, I was like, I know I'm self-aware enough to know that my health is bad. And I started to realize, well, what am I doing during those unhealthy periods? What am I, is there a certain environmental situation where those unhealthy periods are happening most often? And I realized how often I would drink while watching TV. So I realized, well, cut down watching TV, read more books, get more into drawing, go more to the gym. And I decided the biggest trigger was alcohol, because I won't go to the gym if I drink alcohol. I won't read a book if I do. So I decided to create alcohol together. And I've kind of done a journaling thing where I've got a calendar. I keep writing how many days it's been. And it's 41 days today of no alcohol and no coffee as well. And it's just through this, I had the self-awareness for a long time before I was doing those reviews that I was drinking too much. And then for when drinking, I wasn't eating the right foods and so on and so forth, circle effect. But I wasn't holding myself accountable, and doing those reviews made me hold my self-awareness accountable by marking it. I was like, I don't want to answer how many marks I put this out of 10 on health, because I know the answer and I want to admit it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that started making me more accountable. Like, okay, so why aren't you treating the alcohol then? And
Yeah. Yeah, and that's it. Like it forces you to look inside yourself. And maybe you can try and ignore it in the first review, but guess what? It's going to be there again in 4 weeks.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so glad that that's, helped you on your path. Oh, good. So, what have you been able to achieve since completing the program that you weren't able to do before, besides alcohol?
Oh yeah, the alcohol really, but then the alcohol's got a circle effect of what activity I do, like getting back into drawing, reading more books, going for more physical activity. So a lot of my socializing is now walks with friends instead of going to the pub and hang out the cranker until I don't want to admit what time in the morning. Therefore I'm saving money as well. By saving money, by not spending on alcohol, I bought a better car. So it's a circle and effect of all the things I've achieved since that, having more money to be able to put into savings for goals I want to achieve. So it's like, I feel like it's got a circle and effect of like healthier relationships with my friends by walking and not drinking, and, saving money and just enjoying life.
Oh, that's so good. And it's so good that you can see the like holistic approach just by being aware and making the change.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so good.
So my brain's going. Oh, good.
So finally, would you recommend this program, and who do you think this program would most benefit?
I would definitely recommend it. I would recommend it to people who I feel are in a place where they probably feel hurt and they want a wider perspective understanding for the healing, and self-analyzation of why it hurts and how to move forward to that understanding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Great. And do you have any final comments that you'd like to add?
Not just thank you. You having your personal experience with the subjects also really helps with the understanding and feeling like it's an open place to tell things I generally wouldn't usually tell people because they're private stories. Yeah. And that helps, even when it's in the group of people, you make it a very comfortable, warm, welcoming environment. So yeah, it's been very easy to do the task in that sort of environment. So thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. And thank you. It's like I said, it's been so great to have you part of the group and share your stories, and yeah, definitely see your growth. I've really enjoyed it too. So thank you.